So
I'll take over and share my screen. So the last time we looked at this more in terms of, I think the examples we had were from the Euphoria demo environment. So this is more to give a view of what it looks like, the setup that we're actually delivering to the customers, both in terms of how we register the forecast, but also I'm going to show a bit on the reporting that we have that comes with the model as well. Okay, so can you see my screen?
yes.
Okay, so I'm going to base it on the project workspace. So I prepared just 2 projects that are mine here. So basically in the workspace, we have a couple of different views. So we have the overview, and here you can see we have some budget and forecasting data and analysis already available here. We have the budget planning, we have actuals, billing, etc. So there's some forecasting or budgeting components in several places in this workspace. But so if we look just at the budgeting, so we have the links to People Planner, we have the links to the different project budget and forecast versions, some reporting, and from here we can also do some copying. So for example, when we register the baseline budget, we can copy that to the review budget. And then when we have the review budget, we can copy it to be the basis for the forecast. So we can do all of that from the workspace. So for this one, I just entered a couple of rows. So as we discussed last time, we can either post back them in with an accelerator, or we need to enter these sort of line by line. So in this case, this is the forecast. I copied this one from the revised budget version. So that's one way of doing it, to copy it from a budget, and then we do adjustments here for the forecast. Maybe I think we had this in the Euphoria environment as well, even though they might not be exactly the same, but we have the different types here. So in this case, we have employee cost based on hours. We can also have directly in amounts, but I've used the hours based both for the cost and the revenue. And the cost then is based on the cost category of the resource, and then the pricing is based on the income category of the resource. So I'm actually entering both the cost line and the revenue line for the project.
So they are in the same line?
No, they're actually 2 separate ones. So I'm actually adding first my cost, so you can see I have a junior consultant.
The revenue. Okay.
Yeah, and then I have the same group for my junior consultant, but this is the revenue side.
How do you define here that this is a cost line? Because
you
are populating the income category or the cost category, depending what you are populating.
Exactly. So if I'm using, it's actually this one that triggers it with the setup behind it. So
the type.
Exactly. So that one goes to check either the hourly cost or the hourly prices from the price list.
That's good.
And in this case, we're entering all amounts and everything in positive amounts. I think in Euphoria you had both positive and negative, but at least that's our experience, that sort of project managers don't always realize they need to do the revenues in negative numbers. So we just add everything here, and then the reporting will take care of that. So for these, we have the hours. If we just have amounts, like here I have another cost, then it's just to enter. Can just enter an amount. So there's no hours for those rows. So since this is the forecasting, these are my forecasting amounts, and then I have the revised budget just as a comparison column in here. So the forecast isn't based on actuals. It's more of you either copy it from the budget or you just add it manually. So it's not really connected to any actuals in this case.
Lena, may I ask, just wondering about the journey of this. So how do I get, is that something that I create manually line by line, or is it something that transitions from a different view and then I can go in here and access it and edit it? Or
I would say it's three different scenarios. So either you would have a Excel post back. So then you can do all your calculations and all your subtotals and grouping and all of that. And then you have a post back to push it into this to this view. Or you just add it like I've done in this case. I need to add each line by line and fill in all the information and save it. But you can also, if you want to base the forecast on the budget, you can also copy the previous budget to use that as the basis for the forecast and then adjust the values. Which is what I've
a whole
done
or
well.
again line by line?
You can do both. So basically, if you run this process, it will copy everything. This is to copy the revised budget to use as a forecast. But once you're in here, you can select lines as well and say, I want to have these ones, and I want to copy that to another version.
But
so you can make a selection as well.
Right, but either I create something that lives in Excel and that I transfer to the system, or I create a budget in the first place, which is going to be a line by line effort anyways, right? So
you can do the same with it. You could do the same with the budget to have that coming from Excel as well.
Right. Yeah. But either it's Excel or it's line by line creation.
Yeah.
In that works. Okay. Thanks.
And I think another difference, if we look at in Euphoria, I think we have the resource as well. And that's something that I commented last time, that in the model, we don't actually have the individual resource in here. We have the categories instead that we use. And it's basically because it's I think it will be too many lines, too complicated for the customer to add this. But once we have an automation coming from the planning, I think many customers would like to have it by resource. At least that's my view on it.
So then one thing, because I would say, so the type is something we have to have enough flexibility to add the budget elements that everyone wants. So we cannot do fixing there, no?
Yeah,
here,
I agree.
Here the approach is that you will define the budget element in such a way that it will be costing or revenues.
Yep.
That's good.
And we don't see the account in here. You can see the account in Euphoria, but I don't think that's something that a project manager is super interested in. He just wants to know what it is I'm budgeting, and then that it's the right account is happening in the background.
Yes, I think that this is if this is happening in the background, it is just configuration that you will add it, and well, someone will add and you will benefit. That's true. Yes, and the prices, basically, it is something that is taken by the configuration you have done before, defining what is the price for any category and so on. So then you only have to enter the budget type, the cost category, or the income category.
Exactly. So in this case, for this one, which is the own employee cost, which is the volume base, I have the setup in the background here. So I know which is the resource type, and I also have which account to post this on. So that's not visible in the actual screen.
Sorry, you say that you have the resource type?
Yes.
Or maybe, okay, that's another interesting part. So, okay, so then it is because you have a budget element that is internal cost, something like this, no? And then you will have another budget element that will be subcontractor cost. That can be different. That's interesting. Yes, so I understand.
It's so we can match because there will be different accounts for the actuals, and we want to match the planning with the actuals.
Then the prices will come. Oh, sorry, Jenny. So the prices will come from price type, the definition, and this is what will give you. Okay, this is the price I have to use here. And the account. Okay, that's good.
May I just ask? And I recall we started to discuss this last time already, but is that something? Do you have any insight into whether this is something that a project manager would do, or is that really more something that, like, specifically whatever project admin who is more on the maybe number side of things would be doing, or are we expecting a project manager to work, set that up?
I think since it's the responsibility of the project manager, it should be easy enough for them to do it themselves. But I'm guessing that in a lot of cases, someone else would do it for them and they would just review it.
Because we expect it to be too complex for them, or because they just have to deal with other things and don't want to, cannot invest the manual effort that is related to it.
Yeah, I guess it can be different reasons, but yeah.
Okay.
Project admin or project controller or someone like that would do the numbers, and then they would approve or review.
Okay,
but I think it should be easy enough for a project manager to be able to do it themselves, since it's sort of a task that they own. I just want to pick up the pricing.
And one more topic. So then, let's say that we have. Can you go back to the transition entry?
Yep.
So let's say we say, hey, let's have also the resource, no, instead of the income or cost category. So then, how this will be? So it is possible to define here that this is a resource, and then you will put the relation, the income category from this resource, or
I think
will
so.
Be the config?
But,
okay, well, we have to check.
Yeah.
So because then it is, for example, I am thinking no. So if you have own employee cost, either you enter the cost category or you enter the resource.
Yeah, but I think we'll need to double check that, so it can be extracted just by entering the resource.
Yes. That's good. So, and then, sorry, just the last. So then, what you have there in the revised amount, it is something you pick from the budget line, no?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the revised budget.
The forecast, it is something you will pick from forecast, or, well, this is the forecast, no? So
yeah, in this case, it's just copied from the revised, and I can adjust it.
How do you do that?
So these are the hours.
Okay.
So for an hour row, I can only adjust the hours.
Okay. And the forecast company, what is that?
That's just the company amount. In case I have different currencies.
Okay. But this is interesting because what is the currency you will use for doing this exercise? You will use the company currency or the contract currency?
I think it can be, yeah, It
be
is. I
both,
think it
or
could probably be different, but I think we're using the
Because-
company currency in the reporting.
because the costing you will always do it in the company currency, the costing. The revenues.
Yeah, you could have a price list in dollars connected to this
Yeah.
project.
So let's say, I don't know, I am not expert in these functionalities. So let's say I have a contract with in US dollars. This will be able to transform the US dollar into euros.
No, I don't think in this view. That would need to be in the reporting, I assume.
Okay.
So if we wanted to have this if the project currency and contract currency is dollars, you could have the pricing already, but as you say, the costing would probably be in the company currency, and then we would need to use the reporting to get the currency rates, or to get that right. But it's an interesting one in terms of recommendations. I don't remember if we say anywhere that we recommend to do this in company currency.
Yeah, well, I guess, but this is just a guess, that today in ERPX, the customers are simple. No? So for example, you are in Finland and then you are selling project in Finland.
I think we have quite some international customers as well, actually, already.
In ERPX?
Yeah.
PSO companies?
I would expect so.
I don't know. The ones that I know, they are quite local. I don't know. This is something to think about.
Yeah, because if we don't have them now, we will.
Yeah.
Probably in the future. Yeah, that's a good comment regarding the currency. I would need to think of that as well and see if we have if we made any sort of best practice or recommendations around that.
Because basically just for us, so this tenant, what is the company currency? Is euro?
Yeah, it's euro.
Okay, so this is just doing everything in euros, so it would be quite good, no? So if you have different well, I don't know. If you have a contract in, I don't know, Swedish, I don't know what is the name, Swiss francs or something like this. In Switzerland, that thing it is different.
Yeah, so if we would have, so basically when we look at the price side, we say to use a standard price list, but we can also use a project price list if we have one, and that could be in another currency.
Yeah, and you have there use project currency.
Yeah.
What does the checkbox means?
So I think it means that if we have a price list with another currency, it will be used in here, but I think only for the revenue side. Because I can't see how we would get the cost side.
And just, I don't know, if you know, what appears here, it is currency amounts or amounts? Do you know that, or?
I mean, we have both here. So
okay,
if
you
we
have
would
the forecast, what appears there?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I would have a price list in dollars, I would expect this to be dollars, but this to be the euro amount.
I see. That's good. Good.
Any other questions about the sort of contents of this? I can just show you quickly a bit the reporting as well, as I said, but it's if there are any more questions of this.
Do we know of any, or are there any known gaps or challenges already, other than maybe figuring out the currency? But is there anything that we know is already challenging or to be improved?
I mean, regarding the currency?
Just regarding this whole view, I mean, probably it's...
I would say everything.
Everything, okay. You were mentioning that you cannot work on an individual resource level, but only on the category. What are the challenges that arise from that? That I can't track individual costs, or...
Yeah, exactly. That you can't track the budget or forecast by an individual, but you can add the resource here, but it wouldn't be very user friendly for, especially if you're adding these manually line by line, and you do this by resource in a big project. It's just not going to work. But if it's automated, then it's a different thing, right? If we could have that transferred from the planning by resource in terms of how many hours I plan to work, then I think that's when we would like to have it by resource.
Okay, and that works by aggregated income category. So 10 juniors, 5 consultants, like that, right? So it's just calculating the number of the type of resource and their costs, and that is what I can then report and monitor.
Well, if we would have a resource in here, then we would have one line per resource.
But for now, and how it's mostly done, it's just an accumulated value by a type of income. Yeah, okay.
For now it is, but I would say it's mainly like this now because it's too complicated and too much work to do it by resource. But when it's automated, I would like to have it by resource.
Okay.
So when it comes to the reporting in the workspace, we have some different KPIs. I'm not sure why these are not showing. It's a test environment, but so we have already. So this is like the view where you go to if you want to have an overview and you want to see the values of your budget and forecast. You don't go into the transaction view. That's just for entering and maintaining the transactions. You wouldn't see any subtotals or nice totals in there. So you need to go to the workspace or the reports for that. So these are sort of the higher level analysis, and of course you can drill down to see the details here as well. And then we have some quite detailed reports in the background, which we link to because there's so much information in this, so it's not very visual, but here we have all the information that you would need in a report, basically. So the models do come with the reporting package.
So let me see if I understand. So if you go to the other previous tab, the one with the numbers. So we have the budget. Okay, then the revised cost was a little bit increased, and the forecast cost is also a little bit higher. And then this project is, I don't know, very low. No, so we have like I don't know, 15% or something like this.
14.2.
14.2. That's great. We have it there. That's great. I was looking for this, for the percentage completion.
Yeah, so this is based compared to the forecast, and then the baseline spent is, of course, compared to the baseline.
Okay, you have the forecast, the percentage completion based on the forecast, and the percentage completion based on the baseline. Okay,
yeah.
I see. We have in the project master file, we have this percentage complete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not the same as this one.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to add. Do you think this is being used by any customer?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Well, not to my knowledge, at least.
Because
and I think probably we hid that in the model. anyways.
Yeah, because I get that in the model it will be okay. You are 14% done because you have this cost.
Exactly.
But it does not mean that the 14% of the task has been done, or 13% of the hour has been consumed, or sorry, 14% of the deliveries has been achieved.
No, it's not the same. So this
We
is
don't
more.
have this. Yeah, so maybe this is something we can add when we are talking about the project planning tool or something like this.
Yeah.
So this is actually not percentage complete, but budget consumed, or
yeah, it is budget consumed. So
exactly.
I don't know how far you are on top of the project life cycle in PSO. So the last, well, I don't know if it is the last, but one of the process is the revenue recognition, which is about, okay, this project is 14% done, then I can recognize in my general ledger 14% of the revenue I will get. Okay, so that's because the percentage complete is interesting based on budget, because this will give you more or less how much you have won from this project. Of course, this is not the operational view, maybe, no? I mean, for example, this is not give you, okay, this guy is stuck or is over cost, or this task is going out of the budget.
Yeah, this is very finance focused.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, you see that information, and then you either know as a project manager how that matches against where the project currently is at, or you have another source that is giving you that operational information, and then you have to match the two together to get a view as if you're on track. Or
yeah, we wouldn't have a view, a standard in terms of the sort of performance or the value.
So you mean that you don't have any, or we don't have any report in the model to know who is delayed?
Yeah.
Okay. How easy will be with the current functionality to add it? Maybe impossible. No,
I guess it depends on what we want to measure.
Yeah. Because the only information we have is the assignment and the timesheet. So if I plan you for 20 hours and you are entering 40 hours, I don't know if this is, I don't know if this is good.
Exactly, because you don't know if you perform the output you were supposed to do on these hours or not. And that's what we don't have.
That will be something else. Yes. And what is the historical forecast?
I haven't looked at this one for a while, so I was a bit...
This is several months, no? And then you have the forecast and the forecast revenue.
Yeah, I think this is just the... Let's see how much this is. Forecast cost. Yeah. So this would be, I assume, if I make a new forecast. But I'm not sure if this is giving that much value. I will need to check what this is actually displaying, because I'm saying in June, my forecast cost is the same as in July. But if I revise my forecast next month, will I then see the history? I think that's the purpose of it, but I'm not sure if that's actually how it's
I see. So
working.
That's good. And then the first, so the widget called actual versus budget and forecast cost. So what is the difference between the main KPI section? So the first bar seems to be the same, no?
Yeah, exactly. This is more so you can zoom into details. So this is the total for the entire project. This is by work order.
This is by work order.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can...
Okay.
click your way through this one as well.
So this is basically the same, but per word order.
Yeah, more detailed, and then you from here you can also zoom into the report, which is the basis for it. It's a little slow, but yeah, and here you have all the details.
Okay, interesting. So interesting. So can you go back to the because basically the reporting is based on the balance table.
Yeah, most of the reports in here is based on the PSO balance table.
Balance table that does not exist in R&D test environment. So to make
another
testing,
another reason for R&D to use the model environments when they test.
Yeah. So it is maybe if we want to make it, well, this is master. I guess we will have a test environment in depth that will have we have the configuration correctly, and then we can check that this is working fine.
Yeah, and I know that's the goal for us as well to have. But if in order for R&D to use the model environments, we need to have a lot more test data and all of these things in place. So that's something that the team is working on, because that's of course what we want. We want R&D to use the model environments when they test new functionality, because that's the only way to test it, how the customer would actually have the solution.
The most of the reporting here is based on the PSO balance table.
In this workspace, yes, most of it is.
Okay. And would you mind to show the other view that you have shown when you can see this in information browser and we have the estimation to complete and so on? So we can see what is all the reporting we have. I don't remember where this was.
So we have a couple of ones here. I don't remember the details in all of these. We have a budget comparison report. I think this shows exactly, so we can see here baseline hours were 215. So we've added 10 hours because the revised budget is 225 hours. Same with the forecast.
Okay, so this is the actuals. Our variations, what is this column? Our variation FC/act.
I would have to double check this one, but it's...
Okay, this seems to be like the difference between actuals and forecast, no? Then you have baseline budget amount. Okay. Okay. This is just basically data, no?
Exactly, different comparisons between different versions.
Okay, that's...
So here we have the budget variance, forecast variance.
How do you do it? This is done by
these are all expressions. Browser? Yeah, these are all expressions in the information browser.
Okay, expressions in the information browser.
And we've included commitments here as well. That's something that we added, I think it was 2 quarters or something ago, so that the project manager could see also any upcoming costs that haven't been posted yet but are committed. So that's included in the budget variance numbers as well.
This is commitment accounting module, no?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Purchase orders or registered but not posted invoices or expenses that hasn't been posted yet.
Is there any, I don't know, flagging, pointing out, alerting, anything, or just a view on numbers and then use it as the interpretation, spotting work and all of that?
Yeah, in the reports, it's mainly just that we have a couple of sort of notifications. So for this one, I have a notification, actuals versus forecast is green, but billing overdue is red.
Well, I guess that, well, I am understanding the question from Jenny. It is about if we have any notification relating with forecast. For example, something going over budget or something related, or it is, or there is no notification about forecasting.
It's nothing sent out, but we have the notifications here, but also so if I'm working as a project manager, I'll start with my portfolio, and here we will see, for example, if I want to work with my projects that are overdue billing, then I will go here, see these are those projects, so they will need some sort of action here.
And what are the notifications related with forecasting? I don't know, forecasting overdue or forecasting whatever, or?
Yeah, I think the forecasting one, it's probably actuals versus forecast. I don't know. I will need to check the details behind that one.
You can check later. That's interesting to know what kind of alerts we are providing today.
And we have changed this a bit as well, because this is not the latest release that I'm showing you now. It doesn't have the latest release.
What does that tell me now? That there is an issue in actuals versus forecast and billing, or what exactly? Or that everything's fine in actuals versus forecast, and there is an issue in billing overdue.
Yeah, that's what it's telling me. So in billing overdue.
And the other one says everything's fine with, like, it's a status notification. So either green is all good, all on track, and red is something to pay attention to for that specific.
Yeah, it is. And it's based, depending on how it's set up, it could be based on percentages or amount levels, and that could be something that we could set something in the models, but depending on the size of the company and the type of the company, they would need to adjust that from what we have.
So there's a default setup, and with the option to customize based on whatever the user. Okay. Yeah. And can you, what was that view? So you just had a kind of like a project portfolio view as well, right? Where that's the project manager workspace is giving me.
Yeah, so this is all of the portfolio. All my projects. I'm seeing only my projects in here. So this is the step after when I've selected a project and I zoom into that one.
Right, but I don't have any aggregated dashboard view on all of my projects. I can only have a project-specific dashboard view in terms of how my projects are performing. I have to go one by one, right? So there is no, I don't know, aggregated.
No, there's no aggregated. At least not for. I don't really see the need for an aggregated sort of financials for the project manager to see any total of different projects. But we have something similar in the consulting model, but that's for a partner. So if I'm a partner, I'm owning certain projects, then I have an overview of with total sums for all my projects, but not for the project manager.
Probably for program manager. So there is where you can maybe want to see data aggregated.
Could be, yeah.
But I don't know if we have something for program managers. Maybe not.
No, not in here. We have a program workspace in non-profit.
Yeah.
Which,
If you could check later what is the notification we are providing for forecasting, that would be great. Okay, so to see if something.
Yeah, and I will make sure that because I know we did some changes in the latest release regarding these notifications, so I give you the right ones.
That's good. So
we've also added here in the latest release, actually, so that I think we can see already here some higher numbers in terms of budget comparison. I don't remember exactly what we added, but a couple of more columns here so that you already here can see some amounts for that.
One question, maybe, so you have there global project, supporting project, that's interesting. And then you have WIP, maybe work in progress, I am understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we have a notification for high work in progress as well. So that's something that the project manager should be aware of if I have a high work in progress on my project. So I think that's one of them as well.
Yeah. So just a small comment. So the work in progress is ready with what we were discussing previously. It is ready with revenue recognition. So in revenue recognition, you have the invoices you have sent, and you have the work that you have not sent to an invoice. Okay. The difference, it is what is called work in progress. It is like the money that you can recognize because it is what you have done, and you think this will give you a revenue. Maybe the invoice will be sent later, but this is something. So, and this is data you have to report publicly because this will be part of the, I don't know how to say, stockholder report or the balance sheet report or the yearly report that any PSO company that is in the public, in the stock market, they will have to make public this information.
Yeah, I know that's something that that's auditors always asked as well.
Yes.
Like, can you give me the list of the work in progress by project, please? And then they review it and they ask, why is it so high? Why is it so low? But yeah, this one is, you mentioned it, I can see if it's a global or supporting project. It's because this view is cross-company. So if I'm a project manager that have projects in several companies, I see them all here.
That's good. That's good. My view. Yes, go on, please.
I was just going to say that I'll check those project notifications, which ones we have and how they're calculated. Is there anything else that I should look up or look into until next session?
I'm wondering, weren't you mentioning that there is also like a bid capability to get the very initial budget proposal done, or is it just starting once you have a confirmed budget? Yeah.
Yes, I was talking with well, more or less with Michal this morning about this. No, so if we go to a project life cycle, when you initiate the project, it is when you will create the baseline.
Mm-hmm.
And then the forecasting is what will happen after. So it means the project is running, your people is working, and then you want to do the forecasting. Okay. So
right.
My thinking today that this can change at any time is that the project, the forecasting automation. So, okay. We can do, or we can plan initially to do the automation about what we have in the model with a lot of, with some flexibility, like what is the budget size, what is the, let's try to add the resource. Not sure what more flexibility, not sure if the customer will use more flexibility or this flexibility will be just enough, okay? And focus on just automation. So this will be more automation with some flexibility. And then the UI, how you will see the forecasting, how you will see everything will be based on this report that we have today in the models. Then we have the other initiative, no? The project planning. Then in project planning, we have the budgeting, which is like a feature of this project planning. Of course, later, when we have this project planning, we can try to include the forecasting view into the project planning solution to have a better UI. So can be, you can view this by financial data like shown here, or you can go and see this by operational data. Where are the tasks that I already planned to my people? So I have the two views, so the operational and financial.
But just like thinking where the starting point is. I mean, if I'm bidding on a project that is not confirmed yet, but I need to propose costs, right? I need to create a budget to pitch.
Yes.
For that. I mean, it's not a different. I guess that artifact that is going to be created needs to have operational considerations, because obviously I need some kind of breakdown structure to assign some kind of costs to this. Yeah.
This is what because that's what I thought you were asking about, or related to that as well. So basically, what we have now in the model, we say that the project is created when we have won the contract, right? But we can also have what we call opportunities, which is then something that we haven't won yet, but we're working on that one. We could be in the bid phase or any other phase, really. And we don't currently have a budget or a planning for that set up in the models, but it's something we could have, because the idea then would be that if we have an opportunity that is in a certain stage, or maybe it's reached a certain likelihood, and then it can be imported from the CRM system and a project will be created, but it would have another status here. So basically it would be an opportunity project and not an active project. And that means we could create a budget version for that project as well. But it's not set up out of the box in the models currently. We've discussed it, I know, previously, but
yeah.
What exactly the integration with CRM to pull it into ERP and then give it that specific status and have a base structure that I can then further work with. That's not set
exactly.
up.
That's a mesh solution for certain CRM systems. I think that's
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, when you are in opportunity, because this is what will happen, when you're in opportunity stage, the people will ask you for a budget so that you can bid. So the sales manager will ask the project manager, hey, give me a project plan, and the project plan should contain tasks that should happen. Or maybe you will not send the task to the sales manager, but you will have to send the budget to the sales manager. So the sales manager will do a proper bidding. So I will say, okay, I will go to, this will be my cost. So I don't know, I will use 50% of profit or something like this, no?
Yeah. So we could have a fourth version here.
Yes.
Which is something that we've discussed, to have a first one here.
What is the main problem? Or one of the problems, we don't have project planning tools. So if you go to a project life cycle, when the project manager receives this, you will start sketching tasks. So I will need to do this task, this task, this task, this task. And then you can also add effort to this task. I know for this task, I will need 20 hours. For this task, you will need 500 hours, for example, no? And then you can create just a preliminary budget by this. I don't know, you can put a number for the costing that this will have. You don't need to have very special, because it will be very initial analysis, no? And then second step, and this is one of the complexity, you will do when the project is more close to win, you will do the project resourcing, which is what we have with resource request. So for this task, I will need one guy. For this task, I will need 4 guys, for example, no? And then you will have the people, and then you can do a baseline with the people and so on, okay? What is the complexity? With the budgeting, we don't have project planning tool. So for us, it will be quite difficult to have a budgeting tool without the project planning.
That's what I'm wondering about all
Exactly.
the time. Like, does it make? I get that there is a financial perspective on a product and an operational angle, but does it make sense at any point to pull those apart or to track those differently? Or isn't it like always the best solution to try to integrate both views, because they also can't live really without each other, right? So if I don't have a project structure, hence a project plan, and I know what will be the effort and how many people will I need, then I cannot calculate the costs, and it also doesn't make a lot of sense to track a budget that's being consumed without knowing what on the other side what are the milestones completed and where am I in terms of the overall work that needs to be done versus the budget that I have assigned respectively. So I'm wondering, is there?
Yeah, that is the part that is missing. That is the project planning part that we had the version of in ERP 7, which wasn't good enough for any customer really. And now we're looking into this again for X then.
I think this part we don't have it. So my view is that until we don't have anything, we have to do it like it is today. I don't know why. Well, I don't know. I think that Unit 4 is using an Excel sheet with a template, and then from this Excel sheet, it is creating the budget, basically, something like this. For project forecasting, my view is a little bit different, because then you have already data. The budgeting has been done, the baseline is there, the revised budget it was happening is already there, and then it is every month I have to do the same exercise. I have to go pick the forecast and make see what is the progress of the project and see if they have achieved what I already planned, and then prepare the next planning for the next I don't know, next month, next 2 months, or whatever is the strategy in the company.
But why do I do it here versus in my spreadsheet where I track the operational side of things as well? Just for invoicing, just so that ERP has the data to then use it in other places, I guess, but not
this
necessarily.
Is all the I would say this is all the financial aspects, because the planning should be more the operational, as you say, and we're missing that part. But that should be more, what do I need to do? When am I doing it? How am I doing compared to my schedule? But this is the financial side of that, or should be the financial side of that plan.
Okay, so I need to do that as a project manager to feed all of the invoicing and revenue recognition and all of the subsequent processes. So it's not necessarily value for APM in order to kind of like monitor and track necessarily, but it's more like documenting it there so that subsequent processes can consume that data and
and for reporting needs, you need to store it in the
for reporting. When we are talking about reporting, if all project managers do this, then the company can do, okay, what is the forecast for the next month? You can say, okay, the next month I will complete these 2 things, or I am expecting that these 2 projects will be finished. So you are creating the revenue forecast, for example, of the company. If all your project manager do this, you will have what is the money you are going to get in the next 3 months, for example. Okay, or in the next year even. So if you have a good pipeline, you can sketch more or less what is the revenue you can get. That because the project manager will need to do it, because for project manager itself, it will be better to do the operational thinking, but for the company, they are more worried about the financial data. So to know, okay, I will get all this money, and then I'm going to get all this money. What are the projects I'm going to get the money from? So all the projects are because I don't know, the implementation team is quite good. I don't know, other department is not good, and you can do all this planning about the costing and what is the revenues you will do. There will be more company reporting.
So I'm creating a forecast here only when I know that something will change, right?
I will say this is depending on on company. I will say monthly, quarterly.
For me, it's changing. I'm just duplicating everything.
Always things will change. I don't think any company that will run in a very smooth project.
Yeah,
So
because
a task will go over budget, another task will go below budget, and then, for example, if you are lucky and tasks are very easy, then you will go below budget, and then you will create more money than they expected. Okay, so then you have to reflect this.
So I would
Right,
say
so-
this one, the baseline cost, this is what it is. It's what the budget was when we agreed and signed the contract, basically. The revised one can change if we have changes in the contract, additional orders or CCNs, things that change sort of the agreement. And this one will move probably every month.
Yes. If you are a very, very, very stable company, maybe you say quarterly, but I will doubt there is a company like this.
And
Because
what's
sorry,
sorry.
Vinny. Forecast cost is the end cost that
Of the project.
of the project, right? Something that I presumably will be the end cost of the whole project. So
Yes.
I'm adding changes on the go, usually monthly. But to do that, for each month, I need to create a new table with a forecast cost, right? To be able to track changes in time. Because if I want to see
If you
how
need
it
to
was
compare,
changing,
yeah,
compare
if
month to
if you
month.
want to compare it to the previous months, you would need to create a copy. Yes.
Sorry, that's maybe a very stupid question. But what is the automation element that you're aiming for then? So
we have a project which is running. No, let's put this example.
Mhm.
I don't know. It is beginning of, well, let's say it is end of the month. Then I have to create another forecast. I know the resources has changed. I plan a task in July, and now will happen in October. In August, I have a plan or maybe I have a task. I need to have 2 guys for a task. This is adding cost, and adding cost will mean changing the forecast.
So that means I would in the resource request tool, I would request 2 more people
you will create
for that project.
I will create another request for my project, and this will mean that the forecast cost will increase.
Right, but those changes can come from like contracts,
Resource
from
planning.
hours, from additional resources, less resource. That can come from many different resources, and the idea is to get these signals from everywhere, and then instead of me going into those lines and saying it's now like 6 people instead of 4 from now on, this will then be pulled together from the different sources where those changes are locked, and it's updating it automatically without me needing to.
Something like this. Of course, if we can add some kind of artificial intelligence that can make something, that would be also great. When I say this, it is about, I don't know, you make a forecast, which is the data, and then the artificial intelligence put another line saying, hey, I think that this is what you think with your planning, but in my humble opinion, it will happen this one. Because, I don't know, you are able to get this from the information you have in the system. Don't ask me how, okay? But if we could be able to do this, it would be quite good.
But if that builds upon, like, then I need a very strong ecosystem of all of those subsystems that capture those changes, right? Resource request tool is one of those, but like the project plan is the core of it, right? So I would very likely
you have more data because, for example, imagine you have assignments. It is what you have to do. Timesheet is what you do. No, so then if I plan you 5 hours, and then you start working more than 5 hours in this task, something happens. I am losing money. This is also something that is making reflection in the cost. So basically, your task that was assigned to 5 hours is taking 20 hours, for example. Then this has to be reflected. So when there is this kind of thing, so
yeah, I'm just thinking, are we even able to build something like that, like forecast automation, without having all of the pieces in place that would feed that detection mechanism or that automation mechanism, you know?
But that's the point. So sorry, in the project initialization, I agree, we don't have the tool. So it is quite difficult to create the budget. But in the project forecasting, we have the data. because the data is the people you have working or you have planned for your project. You have it there, which is an assignment in people planning. This is your main thing. This plus the request. If you have open request that has not been assigned, this is also a cost for you. So the data is
That's
there.
at least the main part of it, and then there's other
This
costs.
is the main part. Then you have other costs, like this is not assigned to a company. I don't know. Imagine you have to travel to visit the customer. This is expense. This is not resource planning, but at least the resource planning part, it is totally automatic, which is your people. What is the plan of your people? Then it is there, okay? And what are the tasks? Sorry, the resource request that has not been assigned, it is the cost you have. Of course, if you are a company with not the good processes, then you will not have a good resource plan. Then the forecasting is nothing. Then you will forecast manually, basically.
All right. So we have another meeting tomorrow, right? Where we kind of
Yes. So we
discuss
can think, and then we can continue.
Yes, maybe it's good then to all digest.
Yes.
What we had today, and then kind of like align on something tomorrow.
Yes, maybe you are lucky ones, and this is the first time you see Planner, and that's great for you. And you can understand how is the data, how we are thinking to combine, and what is the flexibility the customer could have, okay? Because I have detected too, the budget element having the resource. Not sure if there will be something else. I don't know. That's a good question. But let's talk tomorrow, yes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's good. Well then, thanks, Lena, for walking us.
Yeah, no
through that.
problem.
Very
Let
helpful.
me know if you find any other questions, just for something to look up, or
Yes.
just let me know.
We will tell you.
Perfect. Thanks. Have a great rest of the day. Speak tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Elena.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.